Hi, Jerry Jenkins here, talking about all things writing. Today, on how to use human flaws to craft realistic, fictitious characters. Now, you may have heard me say this before, but ironically, despite the definitions of fiction versus nonfiction, to be effective, fiction must be believable. For fictional characters to become timeless, memorable, and even beloved, they must bear flaws that make them accessible and believable. This is true even of superheroes. And while a lead character's flaw or weakness might be major, it doesn't have to be. It could be a short temper or an annoying air of self-confidence. Indiana Jones hated snakes, as most of us do. His was a flaw with which many could identify. Such weaknesses do more than just make characters more realistic. They reveal personality and provide your protagonist with challenges and believable motivations. If conflict is the engine of fiction, which I believe it is, human flaws help create it. Even if your setting is phantasmagorical, flawed characters help readers believe it could actually exist. Every challenge your protagonist faces should help them build new muscles, inner and outer, that equip them to become heroic in the end. Character flaws serve as obstacles your character must overcome, along with all the other trouble you throw in their path. Your character's arc involves his effort to overcome it. Flaws create tension, which drives conflict. Internal conflict involves mental, spiritual, or emotional battles that make characters relatable. How does your hero react to not just outside forces, but also to those within himself? So how do we reveal that struggle to readers? By having your protagonist exhibit believable behavior. In real life, we know something is off with a close friend or romantic partner because they're quieter than usual or their temper is shorter. Reveal the mounting internal tension in your protagonist in the same way, through odd behavior, poor choices, strained interactions. Flaws can also heighten drama. Character defects not only create conflict, but also raise the stakes. Phobias must be faced to contribute to a compelling character arc. Captain Hook, the villain in Peter Pan, is terrified of a crocodile that has swallowed a clock. A ticking clock horrifies him, so Peter exploits this in a pivotal fight. Next, flaws reinforce your theme. Character faults can subtly drive home the moral of your story, eliminating the need for moral commentary made throughout a novel. This can either reveal character growth, which I'll get to soon, or serve as a foil against other characters. A character's strengths can expose weaknesses in others. In Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Charlie Bucket is the only golden ticket winner who isn't greedy. The other children's selfish desires result in terrible consequences. Another benefit of realistic human flaws is that they become catalysts for character arcs. Obviously, weaknesses give your character the chance to become better. Who they are on the last page compared to who they were on page 1 is the very definition of character arc. Not every character arc is for the better. Not only can you show a character overcoming their flaws, but you might also show them suffering in the end and failing because of them. While every well-rounded character should have flaws, render your protagonist with offenses not disgusting enough to repel readers, but with ones worthy of atonement and betterment, like pride, selfishness, cowardice, or anger. That way your character remains empathetic despite their shortcomings. Create believable motivations for their actions, including their flaws. What has made them the way they are and justifies their choices, at least in their own minds. Ebenezer Scrooge in Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol is the absolute epitome of a positive character arc. He's introduced as a curmudgeonly, miserly, condescending loner who in the end becomes a model of compassion and charity and even joy. Okay, finally, flaws highlight strengths. Naturally, your protagonist should be more than just a jumble of flaws. Even Scrooge, for all his distastefulness, was portrayed as a savvy, successful businessman. Viewers and readers wonder why such an accomplished man is so miserable, failing in his personal relationships. Often a person's strength can also be their weakness. For example, the forthrightness and decisiveness of a leader can make him seem blunt and too direct with his friends. Katniss Everdeen's selflessness makes her a heroine, valuing the lives of others over her own. But the only way to survive the Hunger Games is to prioritize her own survival. Flaws come in many forms, mainly minor, major, and fatal. Minor quirks may merely annoy another character, but they can also add subtle depth to your protagonist. Your character may be forgetful, or have a temper, or suffer an overactive sweet tooth. In the Harry Potter series, Hermione Granger presents as a know-it-all who can rub people the wrong way. But this minor flaw doesn't create huge problems. It merely sets her apart as studious and academic, while creating tension between her and her friends. Major flaws naturally have more impact on your story. These can include pride or greed, a character isolating from society, exhibiting intense anger, or anything that profoundly affects the other characters. In Leigh Bardugo's Six of Crows, Kaz Brekker is overwhelmingly vengeful, putting even his closest allies in danger. All right, finally, the most extreme character defects are fatal flaws. Obviously, by definition, these carry life or death consequences. The Greek tragedy of Icarus, for example, tells of his hubris and a yearning to ascend to greater heights, resulting in his wings melting, leading to his death. Such flaws prompt the journey a hero may take, like Patrick Jane's pride in The Mentalist, or Jay Gatsby's obsession with Daisy in The Great Gatsby. Now, how to avoid common pitfalls. First, remember that character flaws must serve a purpose. Avoid cliches by using character defects to craft realistic characters. Even villains need to be more than just the sum of their evil deeds. Give them realistic motivations, something that persuades them that they are in the right, even though everyone else can see they're wrong. And flaws in your protagonist should not be deal breakers. Weaknesses should be identifiable, but not irredeemable. Avoid crafting your lead character as a wuss, a slob, or a doofus. While readers will eventually forgive a coward who ends up developing courage and saving the day, they'll not likely forgive a character who's done something despicable. Now let's look at examples of minor, major, and fatal character flaws to give you some ideas as you craft your protagonist. Rather than read these to you, I'll leave them on the screen so you can pause the video and jot them down as you wish. Okay, we're back. I hope those lists proved helpful for you. So, how can you best use character flaws? Your protagonist must behave like a real person in real situations, not like a pawn to make your story work. Even if your star is a superhero in a land far, far away, give them needs, wants, and dreams, and most importantly, give them realistic flaws, mistakes, and regrets that will result in character arc, positive or negative, that leaves readers satisfied. The better you render your main character's flaws, the more believable, memorable, and compelling your story will be. That's the way to keep readers turning pages until the end. If you found this video helpful, like it, comment on it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. And if you're looking for help in other areas of your writing, check out my blog at jerryjenkins.com/blog. All the best with your writing, and I'll see you next time.